everybody, this is Kevin and welcome to stages 19 and 20. I can't believe we're already up to 20 of the DeAgostini Lotus Renault 97T F1 car. And today I'm a little excited because we're getting out of the norm. We've been working on the front end, the wheels, the suspension, the steering, and now we're going to do something a little bit different. Today's stages 19 and 20 consist of putting the roll bar on behind the cockpit, and this is exciting. We're going to be working on the instrument panel on the dashboard. And what's really exciting about this is, and I don't know what it's going to lead to, but there are wires with plugs for electrical current. So I don't know what's going to light up, if there's going to be interior lights behind the dash or what. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let me clear the board and we'll get these stages out and start building. Okay, to be specific with stage 19, we're going to be working on the fuel tank and the roll cage. I only saw the roll cage in the package. I was not aware that we're going to be doing some fuel tank work as well. So let's go ahead and get this open and get the parts out. I do see a lot of little different bags of screws. So definitely doing some assembly work. Very tiny screws. That's what makes it fun and challenging. Looks like maybe the fuel cap cover. We got some fuel line there actually, so that makes sense. Let me get this blister pack opened up. Try not to send little parts flying through the air. There we go. Okay, so looks like some nozzles and fuel caps, and there's the roll cage obviously. So alrighty, well let me get things sorted out and we'll start on step one here. Okay, first up we're going to be working on the fuel cap. And what they do is they call for taking these three small parts. Don't know exactly what's what, but you can see how the pins align in the holes. And we'll slip this first piece in here. Okay, that's never coming back out again. And then take this, it looks like a washer, but it's more or less I guess a cap. That goes on there. And then this whole unit is then going to attach to this plate. And let me slip this in. Is there a certain direction? There is. Okay. So you got to rotate it till it finds the right position. And then from the bottom side, we're going to take a DP screw and lock all that into place. Okay. Nice. Okay, that takes care of that fuel cap right there. Okay, our next step is to take this fuel tank breather hose and insert it into the blue end of this little fitting right there. You see the little dot, and the hole on this is microscopic. And I've test fitted this and it's very loose. So what I've decided to do is just take a drop of super glue, just the finest amount, right on the tip of the hose here, just to help hold it so it doesn't fall out. Because if we ever turn this car over or do any more work, I don't want to lose it. So, okay, we're just going to slide that into the blue fitting. Easier said than done. Now it's being difficult. There it goes. Okay, hopefully that glue will set. The next thing we need to do is plug this in to the plate that we'd worked on previously. And it's just a pressure fit. Probably would have been easier to put the fitting into the plate first. But just following the directions here. Man, that does not want to go in. It's like 1 micron. There it goes. It's got to be perfectly in line with that hole for it to fit. Okay, so that's in. Then we go over to our car, and let me make sure we get the right alignment Oh, there's only one way. Okay. So we invert this part now, and we go over to the car, which I've already got inverted, and we drop it in right behind the cockpit area onto the posts, just like that. Let me take, I don't want to sit this on there. Let me flip this back over just momentarily, because I'm going to have to get the screws prepped. Okay, drop of oil. Okay, we'll just get one in here to start with. There, okay. That's good. And we've got 2 more to go. And there's our 3rd and final screw. You may have seen it when I flipped the car over, but the fuel tank looks pretty slick the way it's positioned over the top of the car there. Looks very scale. Okay, so that wraps up those steps. Let me get the next parts out. Okay, a few more fiddly little parts we got to work with. We've got this is the fire extinguisher pull cable system. This is what the driver would pull if there were a fire in the cockpit and he needs to extinguish it quickly. But there's a way that this all goes together. First we have to plug this little black unit onto the pull handle. And I think it's a half circle plug, so it only goes one way. Yes. Okay. Wow, the precision of these items is so specific. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera all this time. I apologize. I need to hold it out further. Okay, then, so we've got the handle on this little bracket, and then from the bracket we've got the cable, which should just be a simple slip-on. Hopefully it's tight enough where it doesn't require any glue. Let's see if I can't press this down this way. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera, but the cable is on the bracket, which is then attached to the pull handle. Okay, so that takes care of that little contraption. Okay, the next step is attaching the roll cage top bar, and that's going to slip. Let me bring the car in here. That's going to slip right in here behind the cockpit into those 2 holes right there. And we need to attach them from the back side with 2 CM screws. So if I can try to maybe balance this on the front wing, I don't know, I don't think you're going to be able to see much of this operation. Yeah, this is very awkward, the little balancing act. Let me see if I can't feed the screw through the hole first. There, you can see the screw coming out right there. And we'll slip this back on. And let's see if I can't start the threads. Yeah, there we go. It's taken. Okay, good. And we'll do the same with this other CM screw. Maybe that's a little better view for you there. There. Okay, the driver is now protected. We've got the roll cage, roll bar installed behind him there. Okay. Okay, this next step is all pressure fit parts. We're going to take that piece we made earlier for the fire extinguisher pull handle, and you'll notice one end is just an open end pipe that we're going to attach to a little fitting right here behind the, see if you can see it there, behind the roll cage. There's a little fitting right in there. And then the other end, the bracket has a little pin, a little black pin. It's going to insert into a hole just below one of the cross beams for the roll cage. I'm going to insert the cable first, just because I think that's probably a little trickier operation. In fact, I'm going to probably need my tweezers for that. A lot of fine, small details here to negotiate. Okay, let's see if I can't get this pressure fit in. Okay, I think we got it. Yep, got it on. Okay, now we're going to swing it around to this side and insert that pin into the roll cage. Hopefully it's long enough. There it goes. Yep, pops right in. Okay, that cable or that line is cut to the exact correct distance. So kudos to DeAgostini on that one. Okay, I think we're going to do some cross beams for the roll cage, and then we're going to wrap up this stage. Okay, similar to the way we attached the roll cage bar there, I'm going to feed. Actually, I don't think we can, because we have to insert this bar here first. You'll notice these two crossbars here on the bottom. Not sure if it'll focus. One has an L for left and R for right. There, I think you can see them there in the glare. So we're going to take the left one here first. We're going to slip it into the top and see if I can't run that screw from the bottom side. Yep, that's going in. Perfect. And we'll do the same thing for the right hand side. And there, the thread's caught, so we're in. Awesome. Okay, there we go. We've got the roll cage pretty much complete there. Very cool. Okay, that wraps up stage 19. Okay, stage 20, pretty exciting. Like I said in the intro, looks like we got some electrical cables with plugs, so possibly some LED lighting. I'm not exactly sure what we've got coming here, but the instrument panel is going to have electricity running to it. We do have a couple screw bags for attaching items. But yeah, look at this. We've got the instrument panel. We do see here's the power cables right here with plugs. I assume at some point in some stage in the future we're going to end up with a circuit board maybe to run all these wires into. But very cool. I'm excited about this. We're going to get some intricate detail here. In fact, yeah, the instrument panel, you can see all the labeling for fuses, lights, pumps, boost, ignition switch, the openings for the dials, for the gauges. This is a cool stage. I'm really excited about this one. So let me get out the appropriate parts to begin, and we'll get right into stage 20. Okay, the first step is attaching what looks to me like side view or rear view mirrors of some sort. It's got two reflective screens there. That's going to mount right in the center of the dash. Simply place this cover piece with the two pins through the holes. Pressure fit. Just like that. And then again, this is going to be tricky because I'm going to have to run the screws from the bottom side up, but this is going to mount right in front of the cockpit, right up top here. So let me see if I can hold that in position. Well, that didn't work out as planned. Let's try that again. Let's hold that in position. And yeah, okay, now I can see the holes just above the steering column there. This is like using surgical precision. Okay, we'll get the first one tightened down. Okay, and the second one. Okay, this one much easier on the second one. Okay, very tricky. And what you don't realize is when the weight of this thing, I'm curious what that weighs, but it's several pounds to be honest with you. So balancing it and holding it up straight is not easy. Okay, so that takes care of the rear view mirrors. Let me get the parts out for our dashboard. Now this step may be one of the more difficult ones for you to actually see on camera, but I'm going to install the gauges for both the speedometer and tachometer. Now I'm going to use my tweezers here to carefully, see, that's, let me turn the tweezers this way, maybe this will be better. Okay, now I want to make sure I get these in the right orientation. Interestingly enough, in the car, the gauges were tilted at an angle. So 0 is actually back here, and then the needle would, rotate clockwise. So we're going to insert it in that same direction. We've got the, let me get the right, make sure we get the right thing here. Yeah, the speedometer is on the left. Just cleaning the backside off a little bit with a tissue. I'm going to drop it into this panel here. And then that just pressure fits into position. And there we go. Okay, and the tachometer goes on the right. Just kind of clean any fingerprints or smudges off the backside. Okay, try that again. There we go. Okay, yeah, they don't come out. Okay. Looks kind of, that one on the left seems a little spongy. I'm trying to see if it'll come out, and it will. That's what I was afraid of. Not quite sure how to solve this little dilemma. I'm not sure what that little piece of debris was. I just don't want anything that could cause it to come out. There, actually, that feels better. Maybe it was just ever so slightly misaligned. Anyway, so that takes care of getting the panel, the instruments in. Man, that looks really good. Okay, then we're going to take our main dash, and this is just going to pressure fit right into the opening on the dash panel. Okay. Nice and secure. All right, now that, you gotta admit, that's one sharp looking instrument panel right there. Okay, now I'm gonna go and get the little switches and knobs that we're gonna insert into those holes, and we'll be right back. Okay, now we're gonna install some switches here. We're gonna install 3 identical switches that are gonna go in the 2 light sockets. Light on the left, focus. Light on the right, and then this limit. So we're gonna have those 2 right there, and then the one on the far left. To get to those, I'm gonna cut these switches off the sprues. Okay. So everything but the fuse basically is what we're aiming at. So we'll drop in our 2 light switches. Like usual, easier said than done. The nice thing about these tight fits is it may be hard to get in, but once it's in, you're not too worried about it ever coming out. There we go. There we go. Okay, I decided to save you the the angst and the frustration that I had dealing with putting those switches in, but we've got them in. In fact, I went ahead to the next step and installed the oil warning light as well as the turbo boost pump switch. So we've got all the switches in. Really all that's left now is to install the ignition and the, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure, of the taillight switch. So we've got a taillight switch and an ignition, and these are real life switches that we're going to install right here, the white and the green wires. They're going to install from the back side, and see if I can do this without embarrassing myself. The white switch goes on the top, in the top hole, wires facing to the right, green in the bottom. Now we're going to take this little panel here and set it over the switches to keep them in place. Let's see if I can't get this little MP screw into position. Okay, it feels like it's working. All right, and that one threads right in as well. Once it stops, we'll stop so we don't strip anything. Let me tighten this just a little bit more on the bottom. Okay, so now you can see those switches have been filled, those holes, with clickers. So those are going to activate electrical wires that are going to go to some sort of system in the car. Don't know quite yet what they go to, but that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to get the car back up here and we're going to install this in the cockpit. Okay, now time comes to install this complex instrument panel into the cockpit. The car is upside down, and I'm going to take our instrument panel, route it in, and I've got to get the steering column up through this notch right here and facing the right way so I can get the screw holes up over the holes that they align with here. Let me see. All right, I'm not sure if I'm over the holes or not, but we'll find out here. Not sure what I'm feeling, if it's going into position or not. Okay, it feels like it threaded in there. Okay, I'm sorry I wasn't able to show you all that. I really struggled once again with just trying to get things in and right positioned and then also keep it on camera. But we did get the instrument panel in with 2 HM screws on the bottom backside in here. See if I can get this a little closer. There's those 2 screws right back in here that you can kind of see buried back in there. And the final result though is this look from the cockpit. Absolutely stunning. And then, like I said, you'll be able to reach in and press these switches to initiate, I'm assuming, sounds and audio from the car. So for now, we've got some loose wires hanging underneath the car, but we'll kind of stow them away safely, keep them from getting broken or torn, and we'll call it a day on this package. So that wraps up stage 20. Both 19 and 20 are now in the books, so we'll be done with this episode. Well, that wraps up stages 19 and 20, and I must say the complexity and difficulty is steadily increasing on this build, which is good because it pushes the builder to their limits each time and they improve and get better. But here's what we got so far. It takes 2 hands to lift this thing. But we do have the instrument panel installed. That is just one cool looking unit. Again, these wires hanging, I'm going to have to secure them so they don't get damaged. Because, you know, nothing worse than electrical problems in a vehicle, right? Let alone something this tiny. So that wraps up this build video. Awesome, awesome build. It's looking really good. So 19 and 20 are in the books. We will come back in a couple weeks for 21 and 22. Until then, everybody, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.